This has been a very difficult day for TJ and me. The notion that I could commit such a horrific offense is simply beyond any semblance of reason. Yesterday's article in the Courier-Journal is filled with inconsistencies, implausible scenarios, and flat-out lies. Everyone who knows me understands that the charges are completely incompatible with everything I stand for, everything that I am. I flatly deny the allegations that we had an abusive relationship. Those allegations are untrue. I did not drive Marilyn to a medical clinic. I flatly deny that accusation. In 2001, the state FFA convention was held, if I'm not mistaken, in Lexington. And the state FFA, that's Future Farmers of America, she and I were state FFA officers. That's how I met her. And I was having my 10-year officer reunion team. I want to add, at that time, I was already a state representative. I was already a statewide elected official representing Monroe, Metcalfe, Cumberland, and Greene counties. That was the first time I had seen Marilyn in a long time, probably since college. And about half the officer team was there. And after we got through introducing the officers, we hugged. Then we went back, and the former officers had a little reception area where you would reflect on old times and talk about where you lived and things like that. I found out, she told me she lived in Connecticut, close to New York City. And I said, well, that's interesting. I'm going to New York City in 3 weeks for the National Conference of State Legislatures. Some of you, and she said, we exchanged cell phone numbers, and she said, I'll look you up. Well, I didn't think anything about it. And while I was in New York City, she called me. And she came to the Marriott on Times Square. That's where we stayed, if my memory is correct. And we met in the little hotel area, the little restaurant area. And she said, I have a gift for you. Normally I don't keep gifts, but I collect political books. And she told me that she was living with Lowell Weicker, who was then either a current United States Senator from Connecticut or a former United States Senator from Connecticut. She gave me this book, and I kept it because I collect political books and I read political books, and he was an interesting fellow. And he signed it on the inside. It says, James, with highest regards and admiration for your public service, Lowell Weicker. P.S. I'm trying to get Marilyn out of my house and back to Kentucky so she can vote for you. That was given to me, and that was the last time that I saw Marilyn Thomas. I thanked her for the gift. Clearly, this was 10 years after we had ended our relationship. Marilyn felt comfortable seeking me out for a visit and to deliver me a very kind gift, one I've kept to this day. That visit and kind gesture took place much closer to the time when we were dating than today. Today, more than 20 years after we ended our relationship, these bizarre and untrue allegations have emerged just 2 weeks before the primary election. The fact that the Courier-Journal is publishing this garbage is a reflection on them, not me. They should be ashamed of this Rolling Stone-style journalism. As the newspaper descends into irrelevance, they have tried to claim my scalp as a means for their own financial rescue. The Courier-Journal piece is the culmination of a year-long campaign conducted by my political rivals, a group of shadowy characters who have corrupted Kentucky politics for decades. I've hired counsel to advise me, and I'm considering legal action against those who have been shopping these lies, as well as the Courier-Journal for publishing them. But right now, a grand jury in northern Kentucky is investigating some of the people behind this who have harassed my family and Senator McDaniel's family throughout this campaign. I do not wish to impede this criminal investigation against these individuals, and I will allow it to proceed as I consider any personal action. I look forward to offering my assistance to prosecutors to ensure that these House of Cards tactics are banished from Kentucky politics. There's nothing in that article that resembles anything close to reality. So this is unfortunate. but we're moving on with this campaign. You know, this symbolizes this type of dirty gutter politics, symbolizes everything that I'm against. I'm proud of my record at the Department of Agriculture. I'm proud of who I selected to be my running mate. Hopefully you all watched the debate last night. I was proud of him. He stood out. We can lead this state. We're going to restore integrity and ethics in the farm.
Commissioner, can you say for any certainty, or are you legally able to say, since you are being represented, where these allegations are coming from? I mean, obviously they're coming from your former girlfriend, but do you suspect the Heiner campaign, given what we all know?
Well, I think most of you read the Lexington Herald-Leader story last week. Unfortunately, it didn't get this type of television coverage, but it was uncovered that a blogger who had been alleging this, we all know that, this blogger had been alleging this, and you all have been contacted by some of these shadowy figures for over a year pushing this story, and you all know who I'm talking about, and others. And when the Lexington Herald-Leader contacted me, I turned everything over. I think Sam would say that. Investigated the whole thing, went back, looked. One of the things they said in that website was, I didn't graduate from college because I got kicked out for a domestic dispute or whatever. One of the things they said was there were medical records, there was a 911 call, you know, all this stuff. That Jack Conway had the file, you know, all this stuff. None of that exists. None of that exists. That story has changed from September the 9th when we were all in Tompkinsville and we launched this campaign. That story, you know how many versions of that story has changed. And you know, now we get to this, and it's just not true. But one thing that was uncovered was when the reporter for the Lexington Herald-Leader interviewed the blogger. He said, "Have you ever met Comer?" He said, "No." And correct me if I'm wrong. So if I say anything wrong, you correct me. "Have you ever met Comer?" He said, "No." "Have you ever met the girl?" He said, "No." "Where are you getting your allegations?" He basically said Scott Crosby. And he's met with Casey Crosby several times. So there's a lot that I think will come out in this grand jury. If we had anything to hide, we would not have turned it over to a grand jury back in the fall. So there's more to this story, but I will tell you this. This election's 2 weeks out. We got polling in about an hour and 15 minutes before this story broke. The polling was conducted Sunday night and Monday night, and we've regained the lead. We regained the lead, okay? Among the 404s, it's a pretty good lead. It's the first time we've been in the lead in about, what, 10 weeks? 9 weeks? And it's a coincidence that the night of the lieutenant governor debate, which I think has been an issue, should have been an issue in this election, the night of the lieutenant governor debate and the day before we announced the success of this hemp program and all the new companies that have relocated to Kentucky and made an investment in this state, it's just so happened to come out and say this and make these false allegations. It was a politically calculated thing, and you know, my counsel has advised us that we're gonna cooperate with the authorities and with the grand jury. And I'm here to tell you that our campaign will go on. People that know me, our organization, we have a superior grassroots organization, and those people believe in me. If you've traveled and you've gotten across the state, you see we have bigger crowds than anybody else. Most of you reported, the Courier, I don't think, reported that the fundraising report 3 weeks ago, I outraised Bevan, Heiner, and Scott combined ×3. That's from grassroots support. And when that fundraising was coming in, I wasn't in as strong a position polling as I was yesterday. We have the grassroots support. These people know me, the legislature. We're going to continue to campaign on ideas and achievement. We're going to make a difference. And I believe that the people of Kentucky are on our side.
Why do you believe that Ms. Thomas has come out now and made these accusations against you?
Any question? Senator Gilbert? The people know me, and they're standing with me on this. There's no pattern of this behavior.
Commissioner, can I just
And
follow
we'll
up?
take one more.
Commissioner, your attorney in this story seemed to question Ms. Thomas' mental health. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I have nothing bad to say. These allegations are false. We're moving forward. I've answered them. I want this campaign to be about ideas and achievement. I've showed you, the gift from the last time that we've spoken. And at that time, I was already a statewide office holder. I was a state representative. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say because I haven't seen her since 2001 when it was 5 and she gave me a gift.
Have you tried to reach her at all since any of this has come out?
Joe, when these things started showing up on the website, council advised me not to pay attention. It's not true. And if somebody comes, if she had come out and made some allegations, which at the time I think the allegations were that we got into if I remember, an argument and her teeth were knocked out or something, if you all remember, and my father was a dentist and he put them in, just some crazy story. I hate it for my family. I hate it for TJ and the kids. I hate it for the people that have worked so hard. We have a blue-collar army out there of people that have written checks, that have campaigned, they're waving signs, or putting stickers on cars, or knocking on doors, or making phone calls. I've been hit pretty hard on television the last 3 weeks of negative ads from that pack. Pretty hard, pretty rough TV ads, pretty rough direct mail pieces. And we've regained the lead despite all that. We regained the lead yesterday despite all that. I think today's a defining moment in the campaign. I've been honest with the people as I have been throughout my career in public service, and I will continue to be honest. I just hope that this election is about issues and achievements and a vision for Kentucky and who could move this state forward. So thank you all very much. I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Have other Republican elected officials or party officials approached you about withdrawing?
No, every party official that has contacted me has been, we stand by you, we know you, we've known you from the day you arrived in Frankfurt and many of them before. And